You ever wonder why some folks just seem smarter than the rest? And I don't mean the obvious type, the ones flexing math skills or spouting facts nonstop. I'm talking about those quiet geniuses, the people whose brains work in ways most of us don't even notice. Today, we're diving deep into the psychological traits of people with high IQ, uncovering 7 habits that actually set them apart. Stick around, 'cause some of these will blow your mind. Especially the ones you never expected. Alright, these aren't just random quirks. Stick around, 'cause next we're getting into the first habit that separates high IQ brains from the average crowd. First up, spending a lot of time alone. And I'm not talking shy or antisocial vibes. Nah, this is strategic. High IQ folks love a little solo time, 'cause their brains are always on overdrive. Quiet equals processing, planning, observing. Their prefrontal cortex? It's basically running a full-on think tank 24/7. Studies even show these folks feel less satisfaction with constant social interaction. It's like, give me my brain space or I'll go stir-crazy. Solitude fuels their ideas and lets them see patterns nobody else notices. So yeah, alone time isn't laziness, it's a superpower. But here's the kicker, their curiosity? That's next, and it takes this brain game to a whole new level. Habit 2, relentless curiosity. High IQ brains are like mental detectives. They question everything. Not just the deep stuff like, what's the meaning of life? But also tiny stuff, why does that work that way? Their brains are pattern-hunting machines, and curiosity fuels it. They notice connections most people miss. And this isn't just random nosiness, it's the engine that drives creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. Curiosity is the engine, but here's the wild part, high IQ brains also talk to themselves, and it's not as weird as it sounds. Habit 3, talking to themselves. Yeah, it might look odd, but psychologists call it self-directed speech. High IQ brains use it to organize thoughts, focus, and problem-solve. Basically, narrating your own thinking boosts working memory. It's like having a personal coach inside your head guiding every move. So next time you see someone quietly muttering while thinking, don't judge, they're just leveling up their mental game. Self-talk isn't awkward, it's a secret weapon. Up next, the ability to say, I don't know, and why it's actually genius. Habit 4, saying, I don't know. And trust me, that's a flex. High IQ people aren't trying to fake knowledge. They know the world is complicated, messy, and full of gray areas. Instead of bluffing through, they'll admit, hey, I don't got this yet. And that's smart. It keeps their brain open to learning, instead of getting stuck in ego traps. This is connected to cognitive humility, the ability to admit limits and update your beliefs when new info comes in. It's basically saying, I'm too smart to pretend I know everything. And that, my friends, is how the brain keeps leveling up. Being cool with, I don't know isn't weakness, it's the brain staying hungry for growth. Coming up, why high IQ people often overthink, and it's actually a sign of genius. Habit 5, overthinking. Yeah, we all think it's annoying when someone goes deep on small stuff, but for high IQ folks, it's their brain doing mental crunches 24/7. Every conversation, decision, or little scenario gets run through their internal simulator. Options, outcomes, social cues, it's like a mental chessboard all the time. That's why sometimes they seem indecisive or hesitant. From the outside, it might look like overcomplicating, but inside, they're juggling multiple perspectives at once. Overthinking is also pattern recognition in action. They notice subtle details, a pause in someone's voice, a fleeting facial expression, a tiny inconsistency in a system, and analyze it before anyone else even picks up on it. And here's the kicker. Overthinking isn't just mental work. It's emotional too. They anticipate potential conflicts, imagine worst-case scenarios, and pre-process feelings before reacting. That's why high IQ people often feel like their mind is a whirlwind, because it is. But here's the flip side, overthinking can be a superpower if channeled. Journaling, meditation, or just naming patterns mentally can turn analysis paralysis into actionable insight. It's basically turning a turbocharged brain into your personal strategy machine. Overthinking isn't just annoying, it's a mental gym. Stick around for Habit 6, where humor and mental flexibility show us how high IQ brains juggle creativity and problem-solving like pros. Alright, now we're diving into something super fun: humor. Yep, the witty jokes and clever comebacks? That's actually a sign of high IQ. Here's why: understanding or creating humor takes pattern recognition, connecting ideas that seem unrelated, and flipping expectations. Basically, the brain is doing mental gymnastics every time a joke lands. High IQ people don't just get the joke, they process it, break it down, and sometimes even use it to see the world differently. This ties into cognitive flexibility, meaning they can adjust thinking, change perspectives, and switch mental gears fast. It's why these folks can adapt to weird social situations or unexpected problems. Their brains are literally built to shift models on the fly. And that mental flexibility often shows up in sarcasm, satire, and witty observations, sometimes before anyone else even catches on. Here's the kicker: humor isn't just fun, it's a mental workout. And now, brace yourself for the last habit, the deep search for meaning that sets high IQ brains apart from the crowd. Habit 7: constantly searching for meaning. High IQ folks don't just solve problems, they wonder why things are the way they are. It's about observing more than speaking. They analyze social cues, notice patterns in behavior, and reflect on life questions others might ignore. This isn't always dramatic or philosophical. Sometimes it's that quiet question in the back of their head: why do we think like this? Why do people behave that way? Combine this with their patience and observational skills, and you've got a brain that's always learning, always adapting, always looking for the story behind the story. That's the secret sauce of high IQ life. So there you have it, 7 habits that quietly scream high IQ. Solitude, curiosity, self-talk, admitting limits, overthinking, humor, and searching for meaning. Start noticing these in yourself or others, and you might realize intelligence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, clever, and constantly thinking ahead.